Hello, my name's Bob Willis and welcome to Book Review. Now, I've been reviewing books and standards for magazines and websites since the late 80s, and it's been a pleasure to review some excellent textbooks over the years. I think it's important that every engineer has one or two textbooks in their library, or in fact create a library for their department, because there is a lot of value in some of the material research which has been conducted over the years. Today we're looking at lead-free soldering process development and reliability, which has been edited by Jasbir Bath. Now, the book has 13 chapters and over 460 pages, which are extremely well illustrated with photographs and diagrams. And it's published by Wiley. Now, out of the chapters, I must mention wave soldering and selective soldering, which is in fact chapter 2. And that has been produced by Gerjan Diepstraten, an engineer from Vitronics who I've known for a number of years. And I have a love for the subject because I used to run the electrovert wave soldering courses many years ago. The subject is covered in great detail, both the two types of technologies, the advancements particularly for lead-free technology, and of course with more of an introduction with selective soldering becoming more and more popular in technology. So if you want something that's really up to date on those two subjects, then I think that certainly that's worth looking at. Another chapter which I really appreciate is on low temperature solders. Now, the book does cover high temperature solders, including lead-free, but there's a lot of interest with low temperature solders at this moment in time. And there's quite a lot of research in there, and particularly evaluations that I hadn't actually seen before. So it's particularly interesting. Looking at SIR data on low temperature materials. And if you're looking at low temperature, all material manufacturers have had to relook and redevelop their technologies, particularly flux technology, to be able to react at lower temperature, but also to give very good SIR results after processing. Now, another chapter which caught my eye, and although there are textbooks on the subject, specifically on intermetallic formations and growths within solder joint, and of course that's fundamental of making a solder joint. There's a whole chapter dealing with this particular topic, but goes a little bit better, or a little bit in more detail, gives an introduction to what we're actually talking about, and actually explains some of the intermetallic, the formation, the different crystal growths, etc. in a solder joint. So it's easier to understand than some of the textbooks that I've looked at in the past. So, lead-free soldering, process reliability. Do you need another book on lead-free? There are a lot out there. Well, probably because this is the latest. And of course it's going to be bang up to date with a lot of subjects which we really need to know about. Another book which recently came out from Wiley also was Embedded and Fan-Out Wafer Level Packaging. This is a textbook that I felt when I did the last review was an excellent textbook, and particularly when we look at the components today, because on many soldering and assembly processes it's really the components we need to understand in more detail, understand the subtleties of the parts, but also how they react, how they perform during the soldering process. If you're an engineer associated with high fan-out packages or very micro interconnection, you know some of the issues you face in manufacture today. That's a pleasure. Thank you very much for listening to this book review. My name's Bob Willis, and hopefully I'll be reviewing more books for you in the not too distant future.